All right, so in this review, we're going to be comparing the Sony XM4 to the Bose QuietComfort Earbuds. So now let's not waste any time. So let's talk about the things real quick that they have in common. The price. So they're both coming in at $279.99. So basically 280 bucks in the United States. They're going to be 300 bucks, with tax right around there. As far as like connection and latency for both video and gaming, they're both basically the same. If we run them both on AAC, you're not going to experience much latency with anything except for like first person shooter games. You might notice a little bit of latency there, but I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty and it has not been an issue for me. Like it's not bothering me, the little bit of a lag between me firing the shots and then me hearing them in my ear. So it hasn't been a problem there. They both do have their own companion apps. So there are some differences there, and I will explain a little bit further, but they both do have their own companion apps, and both of them are available on Apple and on Android devices. After that, let's move into the battery. So here's one of the things where one of them is going to stand out: Sony. So the Sony's playback time with noise cancellation turned on absolutely demolishes the Bose. With the Bose, with noise cancellation turned on, I was able to pull 5 hours and 46 minutes. But the Sony's, I was able to pull 9 hours and 20 minutes. So this is keeping them on an even footing. They're both using AAC as their connection codecs. So, I mean, that is a massive difference in battery life between these two, which is pretty wild considering how one of them is way smaller than the other one, right? So yeah, pretty crazy. Not to mention also the case. The Sony case is crazy small in comparison. Like, I mean, we're talking about this right here and that right there. It's like, what? Hold on, let me see if it'll focus. There we go. I mean, dude, look at this. That is so crazy. So yeah, there's a huge difference in the size of these, which is pretty wild. Now, as far as charging the cases go and charging the earbuds, they're both using USB-C, and they are both offering wireless charging. So they both do have that in common, which is something that is really good to see. But yeah, so that's kind of the differences there with battery life. But for battery and the case, the win here definitely goes to Sony, 100%. Now, let's move over to the next section of it, which is going to be the comfort and stability. Now, the win here is going to go to Bose, surprisingly. That's one of the things where I was really intrigued with Bose, because they have a unique kind of wing and tip design where the tips and the wings are all integral in one piece. So I was a little skeptical about how they were going to fit into my ears, but lo and behold, they fit me perfectly. They seal up really well, and they're giving you 2 points of contact, making them much more stable than the Sonys themselves. Now, the Sonys are not unstable by any means, but these are much more, they feel like the grip is a lot stronger. So if you're going to be doing a lot of side-to-side movement or like workouts or jogging, they feel like they're going to stay put much better, which is, it's pretty impressive, actually. Not a lot of pressure coming from that either. Now, on the bad side for both of them, really, neither the Sony or the Bose are really good for small ears. If you're somebody with small ears, it's not going to be very good for you. Medium to larger ears, you're going to be fine. Sadly, neither of these are very good for people with tiny ears. There are options out there, but neither of these is going to be the one. And then on the other downside of this like tip and wing design, there isn't any aftermarket support. So it isn't like with the Sonys where you could just get like some SpinFits, you can get Comply, you can use their own. With the Bose, you're stuck with what you got. So, but that said, they are more comfortable. So I got to give them the win for comfort and stability. Now, moving over to the app. So the app itself, I'm going to give the win to Sony. Now, mind you, the Bose app is very clean, very simple, very easy to use, but it is nowhere near as fully featured as the app that you get with Sony. Like, Sony gives you access to everything. They're giving you control over everything. And most importantly, you get a full built-in EQ. That is huge. The fact that I don't have to go and get a third-party EQ app, that's key. I mean, not saying that I don't have one, I do, but that's not the point. The fact that they actually have it within their app makes it so much simpler. So you can use their presets, or you could make your own custom EQ for it. So that's one of the things that I really like. Secondly, is another feature that you get from Sony that you don't get from Bose, and you can control it via the app, is the adaptive sound. And that's the one that I spoke about in my review, where you can turn that on and it starts to learn what settings you want. Like, if you're sitting down and sitting still, it'll turn the noise cancellation on. But if you start walking, it'll automatically activate the ambient sound. Things like that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So that's one of the main reasons why, for me, at least as far as like the feature set and the app, the win is going to go for Sony 100%. So now let's move over past the app. Let's go into performance. So first up, let's talk about the ambient mode. And that's transparency, or basically when you activate the mics on the earbuds to hear your surroundings and maintain situational awareness. So this is one of those things where it was close, but for the ambient sound, I'm going to give the win to Sony here. It's louder and it's also less processed. So it sounds a bit more natural to my ears. Overall, it's actually pretty good. With both of them, you get the ability to like adjust your ambient sound to like how much of that you want versus active noise cancellation. You both get sliders, but with the Sony, it definitely sounds a bit cleaner to my ears. Next up, let's talk about that active noise cancellation. So Sony versus Bose, who's got the better ANC, right? So for ANC, the win goes to Bose. Now, just to be clear, like I said, these are both apex predators. When it comes to noise cancellation, both of these are beasts, but the ANC on the Bose is noticeably stronger. So it isn't like a mile worth of difference. But when I was doing my testing, and this is how I test this, I'll turn on airplane cabin noise in my office, and I'll turn it up to 95 decibels. So basically what it sounds like when you're inside of a jet while it's cruising at altitude. And then I'll turn on the active noise cancellation on both of them to see which one tamps down more of that noise. And the Bose easily outperformed. So that's where I'm giving them that win for the noise cancellation. It's like borderline almost too strong. It does require a proper seal. And like I said, this is not knocking Sony at all, because their active noise cancellation is truly legit, but Bose just has a slight edge over the Sonys, which is pretty wild. So yeah, let's see here. So now let's move over to the next part of it, which is going to be the volume. Now for volume, this is like sound volume. The win is going to go to Bose. They are just a hair louder than the Sony XM4s. So in my volume scale, I'm giving them a 9.5 out of 10. Comfortable listening, like 55, 60% to like 75 or 80%. The Sonys came in at 9 out of 10. Now, mind you, both of these are already way louder than I personally need them to be. But if you are a volume junkie, or maybe you're hard of hearing, the Bose are going to have slightly more volume. We're talking like 5% difference, not nothing huge. But basically, like if you max out the XM4s, you probably have like an additional one more click of volume with the Bose. So, but a win's a win, right? Whether you win by an inch or a mile, a win's a win. That's what Dom Toretto said in Fast and Furious. So that's how we roll. But yeah, so Bose wins for volume. Now, last but not least, actually not last but not least, we got two more to go. Sound. So let's talk about that sound quality. Now, we're keeping them right now on an even foot. So both of them use an AAC. So Sony's going to win for sound quality here. You're getting a stronger bass response. You're getting better sub bass. You got pretty good clarity here too. When it comes to voices, vocals, singers, things like that, they really come through for you there. Not only that, they respond really well to EQing via the app. So they respond well to EQ in the Sony app, but if you've got the Wavelet app on Android, there is a pre-made tune for the Sony XM3 that translate really well to the XM4. So give that a try if you've got that app, but they really do respond well to tuning. So if you want to make some adjustments, you can make the XM4 sound even better than they already sound. Now, the Bose are still excellent. They're just not as dynamic as what you're getting from the Sonys. So if you want something that's a little more subdued, a little more relaxed, then the Bose are probably going to be the way to go. Now, here's the clincher. Here's the nail in the coffin for sound quality. Sony also supports LDAC. So if you're going to be listening to stuff that's like, high res audio, things like that, they've got you covered. They've also got 360 audio support, and they're also featuring DSEE upscaling. So it's one of those things where they already sound better, but then you can make them, you can kind of stretch out that lead a little bit more by using LDAC and things of that nature. Now, mind you, just as a reminder, LDAC will kill your battery. So just be, well aware of that. Just be aware of that. All right. So now this is the thing I was talking about earlier. I'm going to play you some call quality samples right now live. But if you're wearing headphones, if you're somewhere where your volume might be sensitive, you might want to turn the volume down just a little bit because the volume is going to get a little bit loud. So here we go. Just bear with me. I'm going to play call quality samples. It's going to be all indoors. One of them is going to be in a quiet room. The other one's going to be with simulated crowd noise. Sony versus Bose. All right, here we go. All right, so here we have a quick call quality test of the Sony WF1000XM4. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously indoors, and it is a quiet environment. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Bose QuietComfort Earbuds. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, I'm indoors, and it is a pretty quiet environment in here right now. So here's what you can expect from the Sony WF1000XM4 in a crowded environment. So say you're in a crowded bar or maybe a busy cafe, something along those lines. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have some simulated crowd noise similar to what you would have in a busy restaurant, a busy bar, something along those lines. So this is what you can expect from the Bose QuietComfort Earbuds in a semi-noisy environment. Testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you got to be the judge of the call quality in the comment section.